G'day guys, welcome back to SuperCoach with DR. Hope that you've all been well. We are getting closer and closer to the official opening of the SuperCoach season. We've already put out some team previews, done some player profiles, so make sure that you go back and check those out if you haven't already. But what we're going to do today is probably what's been the most requested video I've had over the last week or two, and that's just to give a bit of a team update. I did put out a video, slap a quick team together when the picker first came out, but obviously since then I have made a few changes. I've been playing around with probably 20 premiums that have gone in and out of my side. Obviously flirted with some mid prices as well. Rookies really dictate our structure at the end of the day, but for now, that's just a little bit of guesswork and many placeholders in the side. And what I'll actually do once I've shown you what the side's looking like at the moment is maybe drop a player from a particular line and show you how easy it can be to change up your structure. Usually I try to aim for about 12 premiums, but I think for some teams this year, even the 11 premiums and a bit more mid-price madness may be a more popular approach. So when we get closer to the season, it'll be really interesting to see what different coaches are doing. And my wife did give me a Christmas present this year. I think she's preempted maybe some of the possible SuperCoach frustration that may come my way this year. So I've got a desktop punching bag. So when Rory Laird comes out and gives me 3 sub-hundreds to start off the year, I can go full Nate Diaz style on that. I'm hoping that I won't need to use it too often, but I tell you what, she knows me too well. But enough of punching bags, enough of all that. Let's see how the team's actually looking. Let me know what you think. So this is what the current team looks like. You'll notice that I'm pretty light down back at the moment. The midfield probably looks a little bit stacked. Don't know if I'll be able to actually go in with that come the season proper. The rucks I'm finding really tricky this year. I'll explain why I've plonked Darcy Cameron at R2 just for now. And then the forwards, I think we've got almost too many options. That's what's making that line a little bit tricky. But we'll start off in the defensive line. And look, I'm not going to go through each and every player in great detail. I'll leave that for the player profiles and obviously the team reviews as well. But you'll notice if you did watch my first video that James Sicily is now gone. In comes Tommy Stewart. Part of the reason why, if you look at that remaining salary, there's only 13k there. I couldn't actually get up to Sicily at the moment. But with Stewart, I've thought about things a little bit deeply. I think I was a little bit burnt by him at the end of last year. I bought him in for about the last, 4 to 6 weeks, and just really underperformed. Copped a lot of attention as well. I also thought that given the fact he's not playing too many games early on the season down there at Geelong, that he could be someone I could just upgrade to. Still maybe, but what really worries me about Stewart is that ceiling. If he absolutely goes off early, it's going to be really, really tough on you. So I've plonked Stewart there for now, but certainly not a lock at this stage. One of my locks is Jordan Dawson. He's been there since day one, and I really doubt whether or not he's going to move. Goda, I've actually brought in after our team review with Big J when we took a look at North Melbourne. He recommended him as a bit of a player to look at, possibly coming off half back. If you're a Brisbane Lions supporter and you're part of the Big Footy Forum, you'll know how much we wanted this guy. Well, happy with the Pepsi Max King. That's absolutely fine, but we really did rate Josh Goda as a selection come draft time. So hopefully he gets an opportunity this year. A bigger type body, played the one game last year, which is a little bit frustrating. That's why we'll see him at just over 190 grand there. But I think he's got talent, and I think there may be possibly opportunity for him to really cement his spot this year. Also got that DPP status, which may come in handy as well. But in that position, originally I did have Jack Bowes. We're really struggling for one of those types, aren't we? Could it be an Elliot Yeo? There's the cheaper options like your Liam Jones, Caulfields. You've also got someone like a Hunter Clark there as well. So that's something that I may have to change up, but Goater is there for now. Jinbi Ginby, however you want to say it, he's there. Look, he plays for West Coast. Hopefully there's going to be some opportunity. There were some big raps on him as a junior as well. So I've left him there for now. I think most teams have got him in around that position anyway. Con McKenna, as a Lions supporter, I think he's best 22. I believe that we need a little bit of speed coming off half-back. That's where I see him playing personally. Who knows? He could be anywhere. Hey, he may not even make the 22, but in my opinion anyway, he's in there and he's just going to stay there until we hear otherwise. And Josh Weddle is another player that I've brought in after our team reviews with Steve from SDS SuperCoach. He really recommended him as a player, having a red-hot preseason to date, getting involved in lots of the drills and really making an impact. So I think he also finished pretty high up in the running, which really impressed me as well. And he gave him an 8.5 out of 10 as a rookie selection. So I've got him at D6 for now. Rookies are what they are, Dean and Cowan there. Into the midfield now, this man, Rory Laird. There's been a lot of discussion about Laird. Is he actually worth the coin or not? I'll tell you what, he's looking to be a pod going into this season, and I'm going to jump on him. It's a lot of money to pay, I understand that, but look, if you're going, say, a Laird over a Bont, you're saving about 60k. If you can really use that 60k somewhere, then go for it. But for me, if I look at this current side that I've got at the moment, if I drop Laird to, let's say, Miller, for example, where's that money going to go? Is it going to overly improve my side? I'm not too sure. Probably not with this side that I've got at the moment. So with Rory Laird, we know he's expensive, but if you look back to last year, I think he went down $9,000 from his original starting price. Super consistent. I've looked at his fixture compared to Oliver and my loophole Madden that I'm going to start as my R3 is that swing between the forward line and the ruck, and things match up actually quite well. So if he's going to be a pod and I've got him as a captain option each and every week, I'm going to take that, and I think it's a little bit of an advantage on the competition. The disadvantage I have here is that other teams will be, look, and let's just say if you go all the way down to someone there like a Tom Green, you're saving even more than that, aren't you? It's about 160k, so I'm sure that 160k could go a fair way in other lines, but for me, I'm keeping on to Laird at the moment. Some may say it's crazy, but I'm going away from the crowd on that one. Oliver, really self-explanatory. I think that you've just got to have Oliver. I think most people are running with him at the moment. Bont is another new addition to my side as well. Look, it's really scary not having Bont. He's champion data's love child. I think that the way the Bulldogs may possibly structure up this year, particularly with their abundance of young tools, and some of the older tools, your Jones, your Bruce types, Lobs come in this year. I think that's actually going to help Marcus Bontempelli, and I don't see him playing any major forward minutes. We know that he was playing with injury last year. Hopefully he comes out fresh and absolutely dominates. I think that this is the year that he could do that. So, look, is he locked in? No. But I really do love him as a selection. Jack Steele is absolutely locked in, and it's due to that price, 600k. I don't think you're going to get him much cheaper. Look, he may come down to the 550 mark. Something happens. We know that can happen to players, and he had a bit of bad luck last year, but there's no way that I'm not starting this great man at just over 600k. He's gone 120 plus twice before. You take out last year, he's an absolute SuperCoach beast. I don't think that if there is any sort of change in St Kilda's game plan, that's even going to affect this man. He's just going to continue to do what he's done, I think, and I'm hoping he's going to have a massive, massive year. So pretty big on Jack Steele. This is the new man to enter my side. Now, originally, I had Titch. I didn't actually have Bont, so I had Laird, Oliver, Steele, and Titch. Added Bont, and now I've added in Tom Green as well. As I said, I'm not going to give away all the gold nuggets because I'm doing a player review on Tommy Green. But look, to put it simply, there's heaps of opportunity in that midfield now, I believe anyway. I think he's going to be their number one contested beast in there. You know what we called him in the stock market video last year? It was the green bull, the young bull. So I think that he has the potential to really jump into premium status this year. Had a red hot start to the season last year and then really tapered off. I think a lot of that was just due to the fact that he was tired and he's pretty banged up. In the position that he plays, yeah, you're copping a fair few hits to the body, aren't you? I've also got a little snippet from Mark McVeigh last year as well, explaining why they actually gave Tom Green a rest, which is a pretty interesting listen. So I will save that for the player profile. But for now, Tom Green is in my side. And I think out of all those players around the mark, you've got, your Titch. Well, look, what do you do? Green versus Titch. Do you go with the young or with the old? Yeah, it's really up to you, and hopefully some of our questions about both players will be answered closer to the season. But, you've also got players like your LDU there as well. There's Noah Andersons, which some people are interested in. You've got your Chad Warners. There's a heap of blokes that could be fighting with Green to really enter that elite bracket. Can he do it this year? I hope so in the team for now. Jacob Hopper, everyone should have him. Just a no-brainer, that one there. Same as Ashcroft, I think he'll be a really popular selection. Some people may be questioning where he fits in our 22. Look, I don't think he's going to spend a heap of time in the midfield, but wherever he plays, whether or not that's, off a half forward, possibly on a wing, I think he'll still accumulate the ball. I'm really confident on Will Ashcroft. Wherever he plays, I still think he's going to be a good selection for us. Oscar Baker, I think that a spot probably opens up with Hunter gone on a wing now. You'll notice that I don't have Will Phillips there. compare the two, Will Phillips and Baker. I'm not sure where Phillips actually fits within that midfield. You've got Cunnington, Simpkin and LDU, who I think are probably the starters there. And then you've got a heap of other blokes that could also find their way through there. What's going to happen with a Taron Thomas, for example? I'm not too sure. So Baker at the moment finds himself there. I think he'll be an okay on-field rookie for us. Then the other ones, you got Taylor, Richards and Wagner. And one other thing that I forgot to mention with the rookies as well, and look, these are not set in stone, there could be any names here. I always try to get a bit of DPP action, so you'll be able to see, obviously you've got these two blokes here with that defensive mid status. So then I've got Wagner here, Richards, you can see all the abundance of mid forwards up here, and then obviously I'll get to Cameron, and I've also got Mr. Radigalia there as well. So the rookies don't take too much notice with. Into the rucks, Tim English I've currently got at R1. I think Jared Witts would also be a good selection here. I've flirted with Shrek Darcy, but this is a bloke that I always come back to. Had a red hot start to the season last year, and then just got a little bit unlucky, didn't he? Was it concussion? Did he have glandular fever? I think it might have been Tim English. I'm not too sure, but he was sick. He was injured. Just luck didn't go his way. And of course, when I traded out Heaney for English, Heaney started going up and English started to absolutely bottom out. But going into this year, as I mentioned before with Marcus Bontempelli, I think that the abundance of tools that they've got there will actually do well for someone like a Timmy English. So I don't see them playing anyone like a Jordan Sweet, who's more of a ruck specialist. I think with Lob there, he'll probably be the man to chop out. English will be their number one ruck, and I think it's important that you do look for number one rucks, particularly with the new sub rule this year. Darcy Cameron, I currently have at R2. My long-term plans probably for Cameron are to switch him into the forward line. I think he's got the potential to be a top 10 forward for this year. It really does depend on which other players get DPP status during the year. We had, players like Bont, Baz, a heap of other blokes last year that eventually made their way into the forward line. So we'll need to see what happens there. But because I'm so unsure about the rucks at the moment, I think that someone like a Cameron is a really good stopgap just for the time being anyway. I will put out a player review profile video on him in the coming days, so I won't go through all the numbers, but I certainly think that there is meat on the bone with this pick. Even if Cox plays in the side, I still think he's going to be an okay selection. Without Cox, then he's going to be a fantastic selection for us, I think. He's not the best ruckman that we've ever seen in the world. It's not really his ruck craft that we're after, but it's his marking power and a bit of his defensive pressure as well. I'll go through all the stats when I get to that review video, but Cameron finds himself there now. Madden, I think, is going to be a fantastic loop if you're looking to take one this year. You can see that I've got Radigalia there, who I'll speak about in a minute, but for now, I am going to run with a loop. I didn't last year, and that did actually hurt me at times, I believe. And he does have a lot of Sunday games in the first 6 weeks. I think it might even be 4 out of the first 6 Sundays. So he's going to be the perfect loop for us. And if I've got Laird and Oliver, I pretty much worked out for the first maybe 5 out of the 6 weeks, those 3 are going to work absolutely perfectly together. So yeah, Madden will stay in my side, I think, as a loop there. Unless we get an amazing R3 that's actually going to be playing, I'm certainly up for that, if that's the case. My 3 premiums really haven't changed here. I haven't really flirted with any others, to be honest. The only thing I have flirted with is dropping one, like a Rosie, for example, and then getting a mid-pricer in and then bolstering up that back line that I've got there. But Dunkley, Rosie and Tranto, I think are all going to be really, really popular picks. I don't think we even need to say too much on them. Fife is another man that has made his way into my side. Again, I think someone like Fife actually has the potential to hurt you if he does start off well. We know what his injury history is like, and that's going to be a massive, massive preseason watch for us. But if he's fit and firing come round 1, I think you've just got to select him. I think it's too dangerous not to, because if he has a red-hot start, which he's more than capable of, even if it's just a red-hot first 5 or 6 weeks, then you're going to be so far behind the pack, it's not funny. So I've got him in for now, but I don't think you can, or I wouldn't advise anyway going with a Fife and a Yo in your back line as those mid-prices. I just think it's a little bit risky, but Fife, yeah, I don't love it, but I think that you've almost got to if he's fit. McLean, I've done a player profile on, absolute lock. I see him in the best 22. Possible sub-risk, maybe, due to his versatility. But at the moment, for me, he's an absolute no-brainer and probably one of my first selected players. Radigalia, now this position could be so many players, and I'll show you who could go in a minute. But what I really like about him is that DPP status. If something happens to a Cameron or an English it's such an easy swap into my ruck line. So with Tomahawk out for the early stages of the season, I think that Radaglia could be the man to replace him. We're not expecting huge scores or anything, but if he can just go off for the one game, that's really all we need with him. When Tomahawk comes back, what happens? I'm not too sure. We know he's training in the back line last year. We know that he also wanted to trade. He wanted to go over to Port, but Geelong wanted to hold on to him. So to me, that says that hopefully he can find a spot in the side if they were so desperate to keep on to him. But hey, it could have been just as some really handy backup. I'm not too sure, but he's in the side for now. And then you've got Berry and Sin there. Sin matches up with Richards there in the defensive line, but there's lots of key forwards you could put there. We've got Fergus from Hawthorn, Combin's another one, a Van Ruin type. There's lots of players that you could have there, so rookies are very much subject to change. But that is how the side currently looks at the moment. So let's say quickly if we want to just make a couple of changes and look to change up our structure. What we can do is, let's just say if I decide to drop someone like a Bont, all of a sudden we've got all this money that comes into play. Now, I could, let's go a Flanders. Now, Flanders is someone else who I've had in and out of my side. With this current version, is obviously not there, but let's just say that I go a Flanders there. This opens up so many other things that I can do. So if I wasn't sure about one of these guys, get Weddle to the bench, all of a sudden you've got 500k there, and then a Dacos comes in, and then you strengthen up your back line just like that. What else can we do here? So you get Dacos out. Let's just say we want to go with some real mid-price madness. You know, you get a Bose in there, which certainly, you know, strengthens things up as well. He could come onto the field. We could go up from a Flanders, so you got another 200 odd K here. All of a sudden, you're almost working with 500k. Who could you go there? I have had a Sheed in at times. I've cooled off a little bit on Sheed, and they've got another 160k somewhere else. So again, if you're not sure on, let's just say, a Jimby type, if he doesn't come in, let's get rid of him. You've almost got an Elliot Yeo there. You've got a Liam Jones, close to a Hunter Clark as well. So many things that you can do there. So if I just go back, so let's go back to how we had it. Again, I could show you taking out a Tom Green. That would be really easy as well. But if we go even into the forward line here, there's so many other players that could fill these positions. You know, we get the Radaglia out. You've got blokes like Oscar Allen, who I really like. I think that he's obviously going to be best 22 each week. Josh Kennedy is no longer around, so he's going to be their main target. With the new sub rule, do they get Nick Nat off in the last quarter and he actually comes into the ruck full time? He's certainly got the scope to do that and has played that backup ruck role in the past, so he's another player that I really like. Some people may want to go for a Ben King. I'm not huge on Ben King. I think that you could go with one of those 123k type blokes and almost get the same result there. Another bloke that I've had as well is Taron Thomas. He's someone else that could fit in there. There's so many players, but we've obviously talked a little bit about Thomas during the team preview when we went through North with Big J. He's someone that's been in and out. There are so many players that I've been keen to have there, but look, that's basically my thoughts at the moment. I'm not going to give too much information away. We'll wait until the team previews, but let me know what you think so far about that side. I'm still a little bit unsure about a few things. So that's it for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about the team down there in the comments section. Feel free to follow me on Insta and Twitter if you haven't already. Links you'll see down here at the bottom. Apart from that, take care, all the best, and stay tuned for more preseason content. Cheers, bye.